Welcome to the Headley Highlight Show's Uplifting Corner. This week in the Uplifting Corner, my show often covers matters that deserve serious conversation and discussion. But in life, we need light as well as darkness. So here is this week's contribution, and I hope you like it. This week, I'm sharing a selection of interesting and sometimes surprising facts that I found out online from Science Focus. Identical twins don't have the same fingerprints, so it's not a good idea to try and blame the crime on the other twin. Earth's rotation is actually slowing down, increasing the length of a day by 1.8 seconds per century. I'm not sure how much you're actually going to experience that. That's probably more likely to be enjoyed cumulatively. Doesn't sound like much, but 600 million years ago, a day was only 21 hours. A cloud weighs around 1 million tons, but it floats because its density is lower than the surrounding air. Interesting. Bananas are slightly radioactive due to being rich in potassium. However, before you panic, the average human body naturally has 280 times as much potassium in their body than a banana. That's very comforting. The moon looks upside down in the southern hemisphere, or is that the right way up? Do jump into the comments. Hippopotamuses cannot swim. They have big heavy bones and are barely buoyant. Maybe they need a little Ozempic. They move through the water by performing a slow motion gallop on a riverbed, and if anyone's seen them galloping, it's actually quite lovely to watch. We travel 2.5 million kilometers a day without realizing it, as our Earth is orbiting the sun. Giraffes are 30 times more likely to get hit by lightning than humans. I can understand that. I'm sure Rose Hanbury can sympathize also. The stars we see in the night sky with the naked eye are about 4,000 light years away. That means we are seeing those stars as they were when the pyramids were built in ancient Egypt. Your brain burns 400 to 500 calories a day, about 1/5 of your total energy requirements. Perhaps more today, getting your head around these facts, and of course, darlings, listening to my fabulous show. I hope you enjoyed those science facts. I was just wondering if I had any additional interesting science facts, and I actually do, because I am a lover of all things insects, bugs, crawling, oozing, several legs, quadrupeds, octopeds, that's 8 legs. I don't even know if that's even a real word. I'm thinking spiders, arachnophobia, arachnoids, ants, and that's what I was going to say to you. Basically, I really do like sitting outdoors and I get to see what the insects are doing. So one of the things that I really like is slugs. They're so interesting. And the UK has a slug called the Goliath slug, which is a particularly long slug. I think it can grow up to almost 10 or 12 centimeters, and it travels more than 5 miles an hour, and it eats other slugs in your garden. You may have seen it. It's slightly brown with almost like a Bet Lynch tiger print, and the grey ones have a tiger print also. But the interesting thing about slugs are that they are hermaphrodites. However, they engage in a mating ritual, which I think is interesting and superfluous all at the same time. And I did have on one occasion the opportunity to film 2 Goliath slugs, engaging in a mating ritual. And I found it fascinating because on the slug's back, they have something called a helmet. And I actually filmed this interesting opening on the slug as they were oscillating around each other, covered in a ball of slime. I thought it was fabulous, and my mum absolutely hated it. But that's an interesting science fact, which I thought would be an additional interest to you in the Uplifting Corner. But also, I've got another interesting science fact. I really think ants are cool. Now, Ants don't have, they can't see, but they use pheromones, smell, clicks, and touch. And they are so focused on the colony. And I think watching ants is probably a really good lesson for humans, because they just work for the benefit of the young and looking after the queen, which I think that's a fabulous idea. Maybe one's referencing oneself there, but hey ho. But the point is, I just really like watching ants. They're really, really interesting. And one of the things I've learned about insects is if they're coming while you're eating something, it makes sense to share what you have. Give something to the insects and they're not going to be preoccupied with what's in your plate. Anyway, that's my 2 pence on that. I hope you liked my science facts and my additional thoughts around science issues in relation to bugs, insects, and winged things. I absolutely love dragonflies. They're so huge, and they're another interesting breed, but maybe we can talk about them on another occasion. Jump over to my YouTube. Oh my god, I forgot to tell you how much. Let me just say really quickly, I have done so well. I am now at 1,850 subscribers. I'm nearly about maybe about 200 away. Maybe more than 200, just about 200, maybe about 150 away from 2,000. So please do subscribe, engage, comment, and oh yes, and you can also donate, because I'm very partial to 3 Wings and Chips. And that's it in this week's Uplifting Corner. Went on a bit longer than planned, but hey, what can we do? Hope you enjoyed it. See you next week. And DeniseHeadley.com is the place where you can donate, or you can look on my YouTube channel, which is DeniseHeadley.com. See you next week, Toodle Pip darlings, and bye. Cut!